Welcome, guys, to the first podcast of Fits the Crack, where we talk about absolute rubbish and facts, debates, ahem. We've got a lot of folk in the podcast, hopefully we'll have more soon, and starting with...
Hayden, absolute tank at Destiny 2 Civil.
Yeah. I'm Thomas, I like orange juice.
I am Daniel, and this podcast was a brilliant idea with nothing wrong.
I'm a rat, and that's all you need to know. I live in a rat den. Yeah, that's it.
Bit like Chuck does, I'm Gregor.
So now that we know update, I've got a first fact to give you to discuss. It's a bit of an unusual one. So it is the mobile phone throwing world championships are held in Finland. A recent winner said he prepared for this event by mainly drinking. Now, discuss, lads.
My first question about this is, what phones do they chuck?
Bricks. Nokia brick.
It can't be a Nokia.
Right.
From the image
No,
I'm
because
seeing,
think about it. You're only allowed you'll just need one phone forever, because that thing will not break.
from the image I'm
No
seeing
matter how-
on the fact, it looks like Nokia's he's actually been throwing.
See, I knew it.
Fucking Nokia. That's no fun though. But it does. If the phone gets damaged, do you lose points? Is it just how far you throw it?
I think it's just how far you throw it.
Well, that's
No, how much damage, surely? How much damage?
Yeah, because what a stupid sport. Oh, let's see how far I can lob my phone.
It's not a game of
Caelan's-
Party
No.
Fighter.
Better question is, what are they throwing it at? Like, is it a wall? Is it a person?
Children.
What? Just belting it at newborns. Wow. Murray, that's dark.
That's the aim, is to hit the ground.
Right, and on that
Whoa.
topic, we're gonna switch. And Thomas,
Yeah,
do you
good idea.
Would you have anything to add to that? Because I know you're speaking.
What does he drink?
Yeah, it depends what you
Vod.
drink. I mean, like, I can throw a lot of things pretty far from drinking Stella.
You can throw
Oh! Got the VOD out.
So,
Right,
you know.
we're gonna switch topics, and the first debate is quite a common one, but I just wanted to get everyone's opinion on it. Should animal testing be banned or not?
Well, I mean, in some cases, no. In some cases, yes. It is pretty fucked up, but are you going to do it on people? Like, where's the middle ground?
Yeah,
Depends. Sorry, on you go.
I agree, Gregor. Like, it really depends. Like, I think it's kind of dark in it, like the beauty world, especially. Like, no, not many people know it, but yeah, a lot of your beauty products are tested on like pigs and shit, and that's bad. But I guess if you want to test like other stuff, you could use vaccines and stuff like that, like to use on animals or cures to see how they affect something close to a human being, which is good before giving it to a human being and having bad side effects. Daniel, on you go.
That's what I was going to say. Is it depends what you're testing, I would have said.
I was about to say,
Isn't it what's it-
It depends what you're actually testing. Like,
Yeah.
if it's just like beauty products and stuff that you don't need, then why? You know.
Don't they test mice on rats?
Why rats?
Or is it
Look at
mouse?
that one, China.
No, I thought they tested on rats and mice and bunnies and that, didn't they? Or is that just too much TV I'm watching?
I think so. I know they use pigs a lot for beauty products because pigs have like the same skin as humans. So
They
Like-
use rabbits in a lot of the promotional material as well, like for the
Yeah, that's
advocating against
Was
animal rights testing.
yeah, they do that. But I don't know.
to be fair,
It's one of these things that's not well debated anymore. Really, it's like people like, oh, it's bad, but then they'll go and buy products that's animal tested. Like I bet like 99% of products you buy on the market are probably animal tested.
You can say that, but
Yeah.
a lot of the products will also be like products of slave labor and cheap labor and things like that from
Yeah.
like, China.
sweatshops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
well,
people will still
like
buy those
Boohoo.
because they want them.
yeah. It's like I buy from Boohoo, right? And I clearly know that they're getting made in a sweatshops, but there's not much you can do about it because the cheap prices are more. I know it sounds bad, but they're more appealing than you caring about some 5-year-old sweating his balls off
You're
in
not-
a sweatshop.
When it comes to it, you're not going to pay for. If you have two identical items, like two identical white shirts, what you got to do? Pay a £5 for one, or like £20 for one. you're going to pay a fiver.
There aren't many people who are going to go out of their way to buy the ethically sourced one, especially if it's a lot more expensive.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
it's the same with food. Like, yeah, you could go and get the more expensive, but a lot of people end up buying cheaper food. That's not good for you.
Well, it's not as bad here because you got
Yeah.
better standards in the States when it comes to
Yeah,
meat production and that. But especially in the States, it's more about like fast production. That's why a lot of their meat's pumped with chemicals and shit.
yeah, and it's not good. Like they use they chlorine their chicken to clean it, where
Uh,
that's banned in the UK.
Yeah.
Like, but
That's man.
that's a fear with, even though like Brexit's happening, that's a fear if we get a
Yeah,
trade
sorry
deal
to
with
interrupt you.
America that we'll end up colonizing our chicken. And a lot of people in the food industry don't like that because it doesn't seem good when you think about it. I don't want to be fucking eating a swimming pool on my chicken.
Drop your chicken nuggets into the what's it called?
Fucking Peterhead swimming pool.
In the swimming pool. Yeah.
Well, at least they won't drown like I did. But
Right, so I think that topic's pretty clear. If anyone else has anything to share, please do now.
Nah.
Fuck them chickens.
Aiden, do you want anything to add? Nah.
Nah.
Thanks, Aiden. Right. So I could talk
Cheers,
about the
pal.
election
Yeah.
and everything, but I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
that's already a touch subject. So we're gonna go into something very close to all our hearts. Charlie D'Amelio on TikTok, he reached 100 million followers, right? Because of this,
Oh.
because of
Okay,
this,
okay.
because she's 100 million. Do you think she has? And she's only 16 right now. So bear in mind, do you think she still has to hold all the responsibilities an adult would from the content she's providing? Because there's been a spur about
Yeah.
videos that do you think she has to upkeep an image for children, or do you think because she's 16 she's like do what she wants?
What?
No, she shouldn't get off any easier. She's appealing to 100 million folk. She can't exactly just start doing
I
whatever she
personally-
wants.
Personally think you
Like
should
once you
reword the
reach that
question
level
to,
and you
do
got
you
like
think
100
she's
million
annoying?
followers, that's kind of turned into your life, really. I mean, you can
Aiden-
throw it all away, but that just
Thomas, I
means
think it
that
turns
it's
into your life
something
when you have 100k, let alone 100 million.
Yeah, Aiden, what did you say?
Yeah.
Aiden, what were you saying there?
You should change the question to, do you think she's annoying? And yes, and everyone who watches her and likes her, yes.
But no, I do
I-
agree. Once you get, go on,
What-
Daniel.
I don't think her age is really the issue here. I think it's more the fact that she's amassed a child audience already. So to suddenly switch to more adult content now is a bit, weird.
Yeah,
I mean, she just started off with dancing. That's all she started off
Well,
with, and she's
she
somehow
has kind
blown
of
up because
amassed
of
a
that.
lot of followers for doing very little.
yeah.
Yeah,
but-
just been a year.
Welcome to TikTok. Shit.
But
She's
then
one of the
that's-
reasons. She's one of the reasons why I wish TikTok just got banned.
I disagree. I
Yeah.
think TikTok works in a very good way because it's like fact that people prefer a shorter amount of content than a long. Like that's why it's like almost just as popular as YouTube. People prefer watching a 30-second clip because and then they like that, and then let's scroll down to another one. And like it's the amount of people who will go on TikTok. Oh, I'll go in for a minute, and then I do it. I'll go on TikTok. I'll end up being there an hour. It's just like it's short
Well,
content, and it gives you that
Well,
short burst of like.
I think that's
called
true.
having
It
a
may
short
be short,
attention
yeah,
span.
it may be short content, but the type of content that's actually on it. I mean, you get so many different like
TikTok,
stories of
right.
like young girls doing different dances and all, falling from dances that are like 18, 19-year-olds are doing, which are, I guess you could say, a bit slutty.
Yeah, I think there needs to be more
Let's face it, yeah,
censorship.
there needs to be a lot more censorship on it, and from what type of audience it actually goes to.
Yeah, because what's it called? Just
Or maybe
just
it's
any
just-
14-year-old,
maybe that's just the
13-year-old
problem.
can go on and see the exact same things.
I wouldn't say
Yeah.
Maybe that's
censorship
just
as much
the
as I would
whole
say
internet,
a
really.
filter for content.
Yeah, a filter would be more correct because, like, YouTube, I guess, tries to filter content, and
They do it horribly. But
yeah, they do it horribly. But yeah, I think
Tries.
like, TikTok does need to filter.
YouTube. That
a
doesn't
lot
mean we
more.
don't want sponsored or ad revenue. Thank you.
Next sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
Going back to the
Thomas,
question,
can't be
All we
dropping
want
that.
is a lifetime supply of butt rides.
but going back to the question, should she? I think she should be responsible. As you say, she's got what 100 million subscribers.
no, it's
Our
just you're
followers?
100 million
You
followers.
That's
Yeah,
the same
she
for
should.
anyone, no matter the age.
Yeah,
Because
it
everyone's
doesn't
got to
matter
follow
the
the same
age.
terms of service.
I think personally
But-
that
Do you see what happened?
Carry on, Gregor.
I was about to say, do you see what happened to her like a week ago? How she lost $1 million, like just in like one day because of how bad she was
Yeah,
treating
she
her
was like,
personal chef in that
our
video.
No, it was our fans are just numbers. That's what she was saying.
Yeah, she was
That's why-
upset how she didn't hit 100 mil quicker.
Yeah.
See,
Well, yeah,
that's disgusting.
There's actually a
It's
video
called-
of
Lose all her followers
her
at that point.
sisters
It's just a
interviewing
number.
Trippie Redd, and Charlie comes downstairs and goes to Trippie Redd, "Who are you?" And Trippie Redd's a pretty popular rapper, so it really kind of
I would ask the same
Oh.
question because I have no idea who the fuck that is.
I guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I
have
think
no-
it asked the same question as well. I don't know who that is.
Well, I ken who it is. I would know who it is seeing him.
I've heard of him, but I've never like actually
It's
seen him.
basically Mario Judah's cousin.
So it's trash.
Yeah, it's trash.
Is the next kind of
Is
question
he?
gonna be, is Mario Judah good? Because the answer
Yeah,
is
there's some songs of Juice WRLD.
no. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Daniel, do
I
you not like
let's
Juice
just say
WRLD?
that all the good rappers
No.
are the dead ones.
Gregor, guess what? Just
Oh.
dead. Get over it. Get over him, mate. Get over
Okay,
him.
on that,
miss him,
that
I miss
note,
him.
we're gonna switch topic. Thanks, Murray.
I can't believe Juice WRLD is still dead.
So the next topic is about the election, and it was on Twitter, and I found a tweet from our favorite person, Donald J. Trump,
Don't have John here to fucking
and that
act as a counter argument.
well, maybe John will be next episode. The question was that apparently Donald Trump retweeted Trump team wins heating in Arizona, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. So do you think that actual Trump's actually doing well investigating all this rigged election? Because he keeps claiming it is rigged. And if so, what's your personal opinion on the whole thing? Not about who you support, but who do you think it is a rigged election? Do you not? Or do you think Donald Trump needs to just admit that he's lost his presidency?
Bit of both.
I think
think he
Donald needs to realize that he's just lost the election. I think he's just
Yeah.
a sore loser, really. I feel like it's not rigged, and I feel like it's been like a fair vote. And you know,
Yeah,
it
at the
was
same
pretty
time-
close, I'd say. But at the same time, I would just say, yeah, he's lost it. He should just learn that he's lost it, and move on.
I disagree.
That's
I'm-
because
I
that's
would
because you
say-
lost money.
Personally,
On
Daniel's bet didn't play out for him, but no, I would say what's it called? There probably has been some rigging. Not a lot though, but I'd still say Trump just needs to accept it and just get
Rigging
out.
happens in every single election, but it's this time
Yeah.
around
100%.
finding out how much. Because there
I
seems to be
reckon-
more obvious, large amounts examples of voter fraud this time around.
Even
It was
if
Biden,
it was
what's it
rigged,
called? In our
and they did a
elections.
recount to make it fully legit, I reckon Biden would still be ahead of Trump.
Well, yeah, I
Sleepy Joe.
agree. I think even if it, if they do prove that there's voter fraud, which in the mass scale that Trump says there is, which I don't think there is such a big scale that Trump says. Trump says all the states that like the Michigan and all that, oh, they're voter fraud. I think he's a sore loser in my
I
opinion.
think it is
And if-
quite clear that there was no silent majority this time.
No,
it
like,
is
you
a
know,
legit Biden win.
The 74 or 5 million people voted Joe Biden and 70 million people voted Trump. You can't just say that 4 million votes are fraud. That's kind
Yeah,
of
like,
ridiculous.
I think it's kind of
Biden
weird
got
that
more
though
votes.
this is the election with the biggest turnout.
Yeah, but
considering the fact
Biden
we're
got
in the
more
middle
votes
of
than
a
some
pandemic.
elections have had enough
Yeah,
for
but-
entire turnouts.
To be
Yeah,
honest, I
it's,
think I think it's a bigger turnout, just because there's so many people. It's such a divided country now. Like there's so many people that are like all for Trump, and so many people that are all for Biden. And it's
Yeah,
like
you've
if
hit-
you like Biden, you absolutely hate Trump.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
more people
divided,
overall have
so I
voted
think
for
that
either
does make
Biden
it
or Hillary
a bigger
Clinton. I
turnout.
don't think that's likely because they were candidates with a lot more charisma and actually had a voter base behind them. Whereas
but you
Biden,
could
Biden
argue-
wasn't the first pick.
Yeah, but
for,
Trump and Biden are like completely different.
Well, that doesn't mean
And-
anything.
Like in a
though.
larger scale, so well, it does make a difference. I would
Trump
say
and
that
Hillary were completely
because it's
different.
that much divided up, and because it's I guess you could say Trump again because it's after his first term. I think you expect a bigger turnout because people. Well, let's say like the first one Trump won. Yeah, there was still loads of riots and everything because people hated him, and it's even worse this time because I would say even more people hate Biden than people hate Hillary.
But they still voted for Biden then,
Yeah.
and more
Yeah,
people
they
voted for
voted.
Biden than they did Hillary.
Very
Which
true,
doesn't
but
line
then
up if you say they hate them so much.
Daniel, you could argue that before then they didn't know how Trump would be as a politician. He was untested. Hillary and Biden have both been tested as politicians. Biden's been he's one of the longest reigning politicians in American history. But now they had a 4 years of Trump, and that could persuade them on how good he's been. But then you have to give credit to Trump. He's he won
He's done all right.
he won the Hispanic vote.
He
And
won a lot
Florida,
of
and
the foreigner votes, actually.
yeah, more surprisingly. So you can't say, oh, but then Biden got the young vote.
It's all to do with how you look at it.
I'm not disagreeing he would take those votes. I'm disagreeing on the scale of the votes. I'm not even saying it would cause him to still, not lose.
Yeah.
Like, Biden could still win, even that. But I disagree with the sheer scale of the votes. It seems excessive, especially with everything that's been happening this past couple of years.
But then the scale of votes for Trump is still insane.
There's a lot of
the
postal votes this time, though.
Yeah, because as Biden says, he encouraged people. I do agree with you, Dan, in your statement that it is a bit you could argue it is dodgy that almost all the postal votes were in Democratic favor, but then Trump he said to go to the polling stations to vote. While Biden tried to.
It's just
persuade.
the sheer of how do I word it? It's like statistically impossible because the screenshot showing that 100,000 votes all for Biden all at one time being added on. Now whether that's down to a system error or what, it still is incredibly unlikely, almost impossible to ever happen, and not a single vote in for Trump or third party.
Yeah,
I think it's suspicious and definitely worth looking into.
True. But unfortunately for Trump, I don't think the courts will go anywhere with it.
Even if I agree that I think there was clear examples of tampering in the voting, but I still don't think the Supreme Court's going to end up doing anything.
No, because the Supreme Court don't get involved with the government. They like being separate, and I know that there is some evidence, but I don't think there's not enough hard evidence to prove. Okay, you can argue the numbers, but the courts will want solid proof of voter fraud on such a big scale.
Always comes down to people who are completely unwilling to hear out even examples of voter fraud.
Yeah.
Like people who are so just willing to deny it. Because I think in order to maintain democracy, it should at least be investigated.
Yeah, definitely.
By investigating it.
And that's why I have no problem with Trump. Because, he has every right to, I don't think this has been a thorough election. I can oppose it, I guess, and scrutinise it. That's democracy in the end. But no, he needs to accept his loss now, though, I think.
I'd say it's still worth waiting on to see how the Supreme Court turns out.
No, I think the reality's hit him. He's finally realised that he's out of it. Didn't he admit on Twitter?
Yeah.
Did he admit on Twitter that he's got to start?
He's told one of his aides to start preparing the handover from Biden's Trump's policy to Biden.
They've passed over. I don't remember what it's called, but the thing that says you're allowed to begin the transition process. That's begun.
Yes, because
I seen that.
They've gave Biden $6 million or something to,
and he's already chosen a lot of his cabinet already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. What's it called? Because I seen something how just because of his financial boy, the stocks or something absolutely rocketed just because of him. Yeah, I'd seen that on what's it called? Got a notification for that. Just a waiting game.
Think, since Biden's won with so much votes, I think he has so much pressure under him now to prove.
So, no idea how it's going to turn out for them. Hopefully, it turns out alright, but America just get back to normal because all this stuff going on. It's getting mental. From an outside view, looking in, you look and think, "Oh my god!"
It's
all this stuff that's going on.
I mean,
it's
our political divide is quite bad, but nearly as bad as they've got over there.
No, I think they have. On you go, Gregor.
I was just waiting to say there's a massive line right through the middle. You get your left wing, then you get your right wing. There's absolutely no middle ground, and it's actually hurting the country so bad.
It is, and they don't realise. Our political divide's been worse than it's ever been. Mainly because of Brexit and other stuff going on. I think we need to be more united.
You can tell how divided it is when you see it in different articles saying at different shops are boarding up their windows and all that. Like their shops are kind of preparing for riots because they just know that no matter what the turnout is, riots are going to happen. I think that's why
Yeah.
you know that country is
I
too
think
divided.
the problem is that people are so unwilling to hear the other side out. Like, someone's got different politics who doesn't believe the same thing you do, you immediately assume they're your enemy, as opposed to like a civil conversation
Yeah.
talking it out.
Yeah.
That's the
Like, people
same
are that
everywhere,
arrogant to
though.
believe that
Yeah,
their opinion matters over everyone else's, rather than
I-
listening out to anybody
there
else's
seems to be
opinion. They
some
just
kind
think
of
this is my
superiority
opinion,
there.
this is right.
End of the day, everyone's opinion matters, and sometimes folk just dinna think that. Like right wing folk won't see a left wing person's point of view, and a left wing person won't see a right wing person's point
Well,
of view.
you,
That's
well,
the
yeah,
issue.
like a right-wing person would look at Barack Obama, let's say, as an example, and think, no, he was an awful president. Where a left-wing person say, well, he was one of the best presidents America's ever had. You know?
I say it definitely relates back to how far the media has gone with this, because they're
Yeah,
definitely
and
feeling the political divide.
I think the media is a discussion in itself that we should have on another podcast on how much media has changed our influence on elections.
Fuck
Well, anything
media.
really.
The media are just shit steerers.
Yeah,
on,
fuck
that,
them.
on that note, we're going to change subject in case we end up dragging on this election talk for too long. So, I was looking on the internet. Recently, and I found a story that Samsung wanted to introduce a transparent phone. And I don't know if anyone knew, but Polytron created this. It's all you can see is like the circuit and the phone, like circuit unit, and that, right? Apart from there's no system, there's no operating system with the phone, so basically it's useless. But now, from like
Well,
September,
what's the fucking point in that?
well, now Samsung actually has announced that they want to make a transparent phone, and LG's already patented that they want a transparent foldable phone. So I just want your opinions on a transparent phone. Would you buy it? Would you not? Because like it's fully transparent, the screen. So basically, you point it towards like up against like a yellow surface, the phone will appear, the wallpaper will appear yellow, I assume. But everyone's opinion on would they buy a transparent phone?
Oh, but
Uh,
what's the point in it? Like, did you say there's wires? So you're just going to see wires floating about.
Well, that was the Taiwanese company. I don't know how Samsung will actually.
Well,
Taiwan.
well, if they can manage it somehow, I don't like. I
uh,
wouldn't. I don't see how they'd manage it.
it's just
Like, it doesn't
useless.
matter.
do it.
I think it depends on what material they're using as well, because that could just make it more fragile. And
Well,
phones
yeah.
are fragile enough already.
Just, do you know
Look
who we
at
need to
me.
give it to? The boy who won the competition in Finland.
Like-
Yeah.
See what he thinks of it.
Like,
Fucking give it a
I
good
wouldn't
He'll be a
trust
strong
myself.
advocate for no.
Would you even be able to see the screen then if it's completely transparent? Or are you talking about just
Yes.
transparent from the back?
Yes. So
Oh, right, fair enough.
Thomas,
Like, you'll
basically,
just see through it.
if you were watching porn and your mum came in, she can see what porn you're watching.
Oh, okay, no, I would never buy that.
What happens if
That's
like
okay.
there's a light that comes through? Can you just not see the screen anymore through your phone?
But then I guess you wouldn't because you would still have the big battery in it as well.
Oh, that's a shout.
Yeah,
How's
it's
how's
not
it
gonna
got
be
charge?
And
It's not going to be
they're pretty big as
transparent.
well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not going to be
I
transparent.
mean, it'll be transparent in a way like the back would be. You'll be able to see the battery, but that'll be about it.
Aye.
So in other
Depends
words,
how
I'm
big
just
the
getting a
battery is,
see-through
really.
case.
Depends how big the battery is, really.
So in
Aiden.
other words,
What's gonna be
it's
hap-
absolutely useless.
Yeah, as we say,
and
Aiden, you like your phones. You know.
pointless.
Murray, you like breaking them.
I do. That's why I couldn't get one. It'd be broken in like 10 seconds. I just lob it off or something.
So
I'm like,
I've
right,
uploaded
fuck.
actually a picture for you to see of the
Mu-
transparent phone, and that's what it looks like. I don't know how they're going to do it like that, but that's the general
That's
consensus.
just retarded.
Well, they won't.
That's just
They
retarded.
won't.
Where's the where's the
Oh,
battery?
That won't work.
It's weird.
That's not
like,
going to work.
Yeah, that just.
Unless they somehow got a massive camera that just projects what it sees behind onto the
Yes,
front.
the only way I can think of this
Yeah.
working is if there's a camera constantly running, so it looks
Yeah.
transparent, but isn't actually
And that would just
transparent.
Yeah.
drain the battery within seconds. If
This
the
seems
camera's like constantly running. That would just like.
It's just
and
got to be a massive chunky thing.
The much experience I have with Samsung as well. Within the first year, it's fine. And then I've always found after the first year or like halfway through the second year, the battery just becomes awful.
So the same as every
Mhm.
phone.
Like every.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same as every phone.
It's just going to be one of those fucking concepts they show off at a tech show and then just never use because it's shit
Nah,
and no one
Th-
fucking
there
wants
was-
it.
remember the
Amen.
LG G Flex?
Oh
that was
no. Yeah, but it's like it's like the folding phones. They're just retarded.
Are they actually like?
They're
They're just
okay?
weird.
Like they've come out
No, I
now.
feel like the folding phones are actually they're pretty cool. But
Oh,
when it
of
comes
course,
to
of
No.
course
self-powered,
you like
then
they're cool.
they are.
They're
When it
not.
comes, they are. When it comes to like transparent, it's just like nah.
How does
What's
that
the
work
point
on
of-
the screen
boffins, or
anyway?
whatever you want to call them there, can work out a way to make bendable glass which doesn't shatter. Actual glass, not just something infused with glass, just proper glass. Foldable phones won't work because they'll always have to have these stupid plastic hinges.
Yeah,
Which
that's
that
what I'm
is
saying.
it gets in.
It's just shit, and they get crumpled all the time. These foldable
Yeah.
phones, and it's just
And
stupid.
the Z Flip, the new Samsung, it has glass on both sides, but the little cross section where the actual fold is really thin plastic. You can actually scratch it with a fingernail still.
I think they're trying to see like what they can actually do with a phone. You know how we went from having a phone that's like just all buttons with a small screen to like you
Can't
get your
go
flip
much
phone,
A
further.
brick.
your slide phones, then a full touchscreen phone. I think they're thinking, right, so we've came through this far, we've got a touchscreen. What can we do next?
Can I get a phone that doesn't break and also doesn't sell my data to China?
Yeah.
You're asking
Well,
a bit much
That's
there.
asking
well,
a bit much.
Thomas is the
Pay a
one for
grand.
Do you know what I
halal.
was?
Pay a grand for the new iPhone, but we'll still sell you there and do all this shit.
Yeah, it won't sell it to China.
Do you know what'd be
it'll sell
pretty
to
cool?
Japan.
See for like Star Wars. See for Star Wars
Yeah.
and shit like that. How they just take out the thing in the pocket, like what Princess Leia's on, and how just a hologram just starts shooting up. Imagine making like FaceTime or calls like that. How
That would
mad would
that'd
that
actually
be?
be class. And it just
Yeah, but you could be
fucking
having
That'd be
everybody-
cool.
Yeah, but
That'd
you
be
could be having
cool.
you could be having a wank, and then all of a sudden a hologram pops up. And, you know, it's just grief for watching you
merged.
jerk off, Gregor.
No, I just see him sitting in bed, like him just lying down. I'm like, oh fuck, hang up.
You can see the
Greg's
phone
gonna have
like
ideas
pointing
for
at his
fucking
stomach.
Back to the Future Part 2. He's gonna ask for hoverboards and flying cars next.
His
Nah,
headphones are still
I
in,
w-
so he can't even see that he's like on a holographic call. So he's just sitting there jerking off, and you're just having to watch him.
Actually,
oh,
talking about Back to the Future 2, another pointless thing is those fucking shoes that you can get
What,
off at
the
night.
Nikes?
Yes.
They actually
Oh,
do
how much were they?
There are fucking loads. I know that.
yeah. Oh,
How much?
99
How much are the real ones? Were they not like
99 quid.
how much? What, the real
99
ones?
Quid. Yes,
They're not
cost a
99.
raffle in
They're-
2013. They were 99 quid from Nike.
Oh, in a raffle. Shut
I'll wrap up. They're like
up.
20 grand, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but they
Caleb?
cost 99 quid. They
Caleb, go and
originally
search the
cost 99
price.
quid.
I just checked it. It's $400.
Not the
they-
original
right.
So Nike actually released a shoe, as Aiden will know, called the Nike Adapt, and it does self-lacing, and it's really they're really expensive now because people are reselling them. They're all sold out. But there was two versions. They all do the same job but different style. But I'm gonna move on from the topic. I'll talk about what you were talking holograms. Did anyone see that Kanye for Kim's birthday gave her a present? Of a
Oh, that was
Yeah.
weird.
yeah, a hologram of her dad,
I never.
like really realistic, like
Of her
so-
dead dad.
Yeah, her dead dad saying like, "I'm really proud of you" or something. What's everyone's
I
opinion
love
of that?
you.
What's because I think it's very creepy.
I find it
That's
creepy.
kind of weird,
I have.
but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm surprised Kanye never made himself. I'm surprised he just didn't get himself as made into a hologram.
So,
Yeah,
the
to be honest, I
reveal-
mean,
the release
it's
of the
something
Nike
like that. A
Mag.
gift like that sounds alright until you say it's of her dead dad.
On you
The
go,
Nike
Aiden.
Mag was a limited edition release of 89 pairs. To enter the draw, it was to do with the Michael J. Fox Foundation. There was tickets which cost $10 each. It was a donation. Pretty much, if your ticket won, you'd get invited to buy the shoes for $99.
How much are they reselling though?
Probably
Oh, like 30 grand or something.
That's mental.
Okay.
Anyway, back on the hologram, I have a problem with it, but it's more for the psychological aspect of it, because they were running a similar thing, but it's there was I think some company did it, so it was a mother who had the hologram of her own daughter, like her own dead daughter.
yeah.
That kind of deal. Seems to be the thing they're going with here. It's supposed to be for like therapeutic purposes, I'm pretty sure. And again, it's a bit, I don't know. I think fuck you up, really.
Well, could you not get feelings towards that hologram? That's
Yeah,
the
it's-
scary thing.
Not there. It's not real. The
No.
person's still gone.
Because if they're making loved ones, soon they'll just be making fucking girls for fucking sad, creepy guys.
I've seen one hologram in real life, and it was at like an airport in Mexico in like 2010. And they're really weird looking things.
I would
They're just
say
strange.
when you lose a loved one, it's obviously difficult. But I feel like having a hologram would it not spike every emotion? Like losing a loved
Just
one's
makes it
hard
worse.
enough. Aye. So like Kim K, like I guess she knew there was cameras on her or like it was being videoed. So there's videos of the hologram. So like it's like yeah, it was maybe a nice gesture from Kanye, but he still made it public. In my personal opinion, I would want it not to be
Yeah.
public. That's your like I guess deceased father talking to you from a hologram. Like, but then is it a voice artist?
Yeah,
Is it like clips
but
from his
you've got to
voice?
mind, how public is that family?
Yeah, they have a TV show.
That is
Everything-
true.
For fuck's sake.
Everything they do is in the public eye.
It's
Yeah.
just that
Literally, there's nothing they can do to hide. They go out to the shop, paparazzi. Just anything.
Yeah,
Kim
they're
K was
probably-
the most recognized celebrity worldwide for a while. I don't know if she still is
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah, she probably still is. Like the whole family is. Everyone knows the Kardashians.
For some fucking reason.
Yeah, very
Things
true.
are
Yeah.
Very true.
texting.
But no, Dan, I do agree with your psychological point
I
of
mean-
view. That it's can be
Mm.
quite hard on someone, but also it can maybe help them, I guess, in a
I
way.
think it depends on the person. They could either have like the final goodbye, or they could become like really, really dependent on this technology.
I think we discussed
Kind of.
earlier in the week that China or Japan actually they prefer like was it robots or like robot partners or because they're always working all the time, so they find it easier to
Yeah.
that's where the
Yeah.
aging population's an issue. So yeah, it's pretty mad.
That's the Japanese culture. What's it called? A lot of them don't have time for families and all that.
Nah, too
So it's
busy working.
virtual.
Yeah, it's strictly work culture there.
Yeah,
Like, it's mental how big of workaholics they are over there.
yeah. It's the same with their education.
Yeah. They just
Right.
want like better themselves all the time. I respect it, but they need to have time for themselves.
Yeah, it's almost too strict, and that's why so many of them are lonely, and that's why like suicide's quite a big problem in Japan. Is the amount of stress on people.
And it's aging population.
It's literally
And
just The
it's
Shining. It's all work and no play.
Literally.
Yeah. Doesn't help that like most of the countries going in their 70s, 80s.
Yeah, the
No,
heavy
it doesn't.
population.
Like yeah, there's like probably more old people than there's young people in that place.
Yeah.
Haven't they removed the one child rule in a lot of the Asian countries now?
Yeah.
China still has it,
Did they?
I think. Is it 2? It's either 1 or 2.
No, I
Think
don't
that
think they didn't have it anymore. We were told that.
Don't
like,
have it anymore.
Nah, they don't. They were told that. Like we were told that when we went there for like their tour. They went on about the whole history of it, saying like they're all based off from like the dad, because obviously like your child gets married, but if it's your daughter, she's losing your last name, and if it's like
True.
like a rich Chinese man, he'd want to pass it on to his son, that keeps the same last name. And apparently, if you have a son, you can't have any more kids. If you have a daughter, you have the option to either keep it or you can put her up, like you can basically like get rid of her and then try again for another baby. And if it's a daughter again, you're stuck with her.
Well,
Is
I'm in
that
China.
actually the rule?
That was
I don't
actually the
know.
rule. Yeah, that was.
Is it
actually
still the rule or is it not?
No, it's not the rule anymore. I think the rule anymore. I think they still have a cap on it because they're still suffering from overpopulation of like 2 kids. But that's what used to be the rule when it used to be 1 kid. Just because a lot of the Chinese,
That's
like
mad.
the rich Chinese men, they wanted to pass down all their stuff onto the son, because the son would obviously still have the last name.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was still technically like within the family. Whether if it's handed down to the daughter, and say she's married, she wouldn't have the last name of her dad. So that belongs to technically would look like it's just from that boy from the other family.
Aye.
Just sounds like China, doesn't it?
On that note, I'm gonna conclude the podcast with just a random fact that I found, and it's a pretty weird one. Butterflies taste with their hind feet.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
What? It's on her legs. It's like
Starts rubbing his legs up and down you.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine having taste buds on your feet or legs.
Daniel with his webbed feet there, just like sitting on
Oh.
the table.
Tom
Oh.
Like a boat.
That means you could
Lovely.
you could taste your Crocs then all the time. Daniel.
I will defend the Crocs. Are
It tastes how sweaty they become.
Daniel's in sports mode right now.
Yeah.